Hello, everybody. Welcome to the new look weekend edition for Midweek Mix-Up. Of course, we'll just chat on a little bit whilst we wait for people to roll in as we went live pretty quickly there. Not only that, but we are also, I do believe, if I have a look at the stream details, we should be outputting, up to a glorious 2K 60 frames. Woo! So yes. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are in the world. How's it going, guys? Yes, the
Hello, everyone.
weekend edition has a nice new facade, a nice new overlay. We've got a few changes to this one actually. It's now on OBS and not on StreamYard. So I can do a few more fancy things and look a bit prettier. And like I say, one of these things is the fact that it's now outputting at a higher resolution, and it's pretty consistent. But yes, before we get going, of course, this is presented by our main sponsor for the podcast, Manscaped. You get 20% off, of course, with code MWMU at manscaped.com.
Down here somewhere.
Yes, over there, down here. Of course, secondary sponsor, one of my personal sponsors, Grimfrost, is also on the bottom there. And of course, podcast sponsor until before and after Community Indie Showcase 2022, which is on the 23rd of April. I'm looking forward to for everybody to see that. Should have some pretty awesome surprises coming up from some awesome people and some awesome games. So I can't wait for that to come to fruition and that one to go live. But until then, Jen, welcome, brother. How are you doing today? What you been up to?
Hello. Not too bad, not too bad. Recorded Parcel Play for the Battletoads episode, which is coming out in the next couple of days.
Yeah.
Jumped ahead of myself, played a bunch of games this week. So I've got the Tunic episode to write next. Also did a live Parcel Play on Friday just gone for the Evil Within, and that was I had to pass on that. There was some stuff I didn't like about it. There was some big issues I had.
Yeah.
I had to pass on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm doing live Parcel Plays now. The next one is going to be this coming Friday, and that's Lego Batman.
Nice. That one should be good. That one should be a play, sorry.
I haven't played it in a long time, and I don't think I ever completed it.
Really?
It came out back in 2008, I think.
Yeah.
So it's going to be an interesting one because I don't really remember that game. And I know I had it. I just don't remember playing much of it.
It'll automatically be a play as soon as you've got the whimsical, the silly adult humor that's mixed in with a kid's game.
Yeah.
And you'll be like, oh, yeah, this is why I like it.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've had it in my Epic Games library for quite some time because they gave away, I think it was the first 3 Arkham games.
Yeah.
And it was also the first 3 Lego Batman games. They were all 3 at the same point in time. I just nabbed them. I'm going to grab them. I know I'll play them at some point, and now I've made an excuse to play it. So
yeah, perfect excuse. Perfect excuse.
Yeah.
What else you been up to? What else you been playing?
A lot of Guardians of the Galaxy till 3 in the morning.
Yeah, whilst I was working away doing overlays and stuff, you were like, Guardians.
Yeah, I've been working on overlays as well, and trying to work on overlays. We was both working on overlays just before the show began.
Yeah, all at the same time.
I was having no luck in finding anything. But yeah, about a quarter of the game left for Guardians, and I'm absolutely loving that game.
Yeah,
the soundtrack just elevates it as well.
I need to get I need to give Elden Ring just a brief break and play a little bit more of this.
It's worth it
because I was up level chapter 5, which was I was at pretty much exactly the same point as you, and now you've just sailed off into the distance.
Yep, I blinked and it was 3 a.m. and I was like, shit. Time went like that. Yeah. So it's just such an addictive experience. Such a colourful game. Soundtrack is brilliant. Really accelerates the level of the game. Even if you're not a Marvel fan, I'd say play it. If you
Yeah.
like games like Mass Effect and all that, you'll enjoy this. It's got choices, not to the degree of Mass Effect, but you do have some choices in it. I've been really addicted to that game, so probably gonna play it tonight, hopefully.
Yes. Yes. Definitely. You know what it is? I might actually jump on it tonight as well. Give Elden Ring a rest for today and play a little bit more Guardians. Get through a few more chapters. I was just saying, even stuff shown in the chat there. Was playing Guardians before he was streaming it, and even he's went one chapter further than me now, and he's kind of just sitting back and chilling with it. So I've definitely been slacking, thanks in no part to Elden Ring.
I love all like the hidden costumes you can find as well, and the
Yes,
little like items you can
gives you a
find. You can go back
reason,
to the ship.
gives you a reason to explore, and that's a good
Yeah,
thing.
like finding those little items, the little lore items, and get to have conversations with the characters and figure out some of their backstory and all that stuff. It's really cool. Really enjoying it.
Definitely, definitely. A quick shout out before we go any further to everyone in chat. Of course, our moderator, Mid Mix Up Studios, Wolo Weasel. Welcome, sir. Barely Making Rent, of course. Welcome, sir. Stuffed Sean, how are you doing today? And everybody else who isn't chatting but is watching, hello to you too. Of course,
Oh, everyone.
don't be shy. Jump in the chat. Talk to these fine gentlemen and ladies and gentlemen in chat here. Enjoy.
To what Wallow Weasel said, Tunic is fucking hard, am I right? Yes, it is hard.
Yes.
I was
Yes.
stuck on a bit for so long. In the end, I just thought, nope, I'm turning on invincibility mode.
Yeah.
I'm getting past this bit, and then I turned it off again.
Yeah, exactly. Don't be how do we put it? Don't be thinking that just because it's a little cutesy fox that this
Yep.
game, it's very deceiving. It's a
I
deceiving
wasn't
game.
expecting it. I just thought, oh, this is going to be a nice, chill, sit back, relax kind of game. The music is what gets you. You think, oh, it's going to be a
This is
chill
nice.
game. The music's chill. There's no like, it doesn't pump up this like actiony type music when you get into combat. It's just chill, and it's like trying to put you to sleep while you're fighting. And that's why probably half the time I'm dying because I'm just chilling out as the music's playing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Exactly. That's half the problem with some of these games. Like the music's just too good, and you're just like sitting there listening, and then you die. Barely making rent. Rainy day today. Guess I'll stay inside in game like every day. I know there's always an excuse to stay inside in game. It's too hot. You got to keep cool. Stay inside game. It's rainy. Got to keep dry. Stay inside game. It's snowing. Got to stay nice and dry and cool and warm. Sorry. Stay inside game. Too windy. Don't get yourself blown over. Stay inside. Game. Stay safe. See, there's always an excuse. There's always a reason. BMG, welcome, brother. How are you doing today? Yeah, so what else have you been doing, Jen? What else have you been up to?
Working on videos mainly. It's really about it. I've not really had time to watch
do much
TV series or anything like that.
Yeah.
Been thinking about making content. When I've not been doing that, I've been playing Guardians.
Yes. Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, only other games I've been playing are for pass or play throughout this week. So Guardians has been my main game, and then Tunic I played for about 4 hours. And like the week before that, I was playing Battletoads. Didn't go too far into that game because it's only like a 5 or 6 hour game. So I drew the line there around about 2.5 hours because I didn't want to go too far into it. Because my pass or play series isn't about completing the game; it's about coming to the decision if I'm going to continue playing that game, or just skip it. Just skip it. A breath there again.
Yes. Yeah. Definitely. That's fair enough. Naturally, I think everybody knows to this point I have been playing Elden Ring quite a lot still since last week. Makes no difference. I am now level 88 or 89, so I've went up a bit. I still haven't got onto the next boss from Godric, mainly because I don't know where the next boss is. I'm going to try and figure that out and get to the next boss and try and give him a go, or her, depending on who it is. I've played a little bit of Shredders, and I've played a little bit of Tunic, and I've been playing a little indie game called 100 Bullets. So I'm looking forward to talking more about that. That will also be kind of shown off in the indie showcase next month. But I might do a little stream on 100 Bullets before that. It's a cool little indie game. It's like more like a shooter puzzle game. It reminds you a little bit like Asteroids, except it's not asteroids that are shooting you. It's the 100 bullets that you fire that ricochet around the room, and you've got to dodge your own bullets. But it only fires the bullets when you're moving, and if you're not moving, then it doesn't count down the bullets. So you have to keep moving until you've fired all 100, and you've got to dodge them for a certain amount of time.
That's interesting.
And each level changes, so it adds different mechanics. So the first level is just easy. It's just a circle. You've got to go around the circle and make sure you survive. And the next level, it just changes the shape up a bit. And then further on, it's got things like teleports. So the bullets will teleport to another bit of the room. So then it like starts ricocheting off other parts. And then you've got another section where it goes through a slow-moving part and then fires it out really quickly on the other end. So you've got to watch out for those depending on where you are. Or you've got just like ones that ricochet really quickly. So if you're firing up or down, then it'll then those things will just rapidly go back and forwards, so you're much more likely to get hit. It's a mad game, but it's really cool. It's another cool indie game by one person. That is on, I don't know how many platforms it's on. I've got it on Xbox. I do believe it's Xbox and Steam. It might come to PlayStation, but I think at the moment it's just Xbox and Steam. I'm not even sure if it's out yet now, but it's awesome. Yeah, I'll definitely be showing off a little bit of that game because it's really cool, specifically for an indie game. Other than that, Jen, there has been some news. We did, of course, do a live reaction to Harry Potter, but we because we were trying to go through Discord and kind of test a few bits out for that live stream.
Yeah, technical difficulties there.
Yeah, the audio was pretty gash because for some reason on OBS capturing it wasn't capturing the game audio or me. It was capturing Discord's voice communications through Streamlabs, or even OBS in general doesn't work, which we tested just before this. It just doesn't pull through the audio.
Looking at articles and all that, couldn't figure it out.
Yeah,
it's such a weird issue to have.
It is. It's just such a backwards issue to have. So we've just reverted to having this through StreamYard as the base, and then us two here. So it's much easier, much more straightforward. It works, and that's all that matters. But yes, we did our reactions, but like I say, because of audio issues, you couldn't really hear anyone's response anyway, unless you were like superhuman here, and then you could hear everybody that was kind of whispering. But yes, we will talk about that. Jen, we'll just flick over quickly to the gameplay.
Get that gameplay running for anyone that's missed it.
So yeah, I'm gonna it might be loud here actually because they're gonna be talking. So we'll have that there. You should be able to hear Jen pretty loudly over the top of it as well, to be fair.
There's a lot of cool stuff in this game, like some of the particle effects in the spells, amazing. Like so much going on the screen at one time.
Yeah,
it's a lot to take in, and I've watched it a few times, and there's still things I noticed now that I didn't notice first viewing.
I'm just gonna change something on here so you can actually.
What do you think you're doing here, humans?
There we go. That should be much better. Right. Continue.
Yeah, I was saying about the particle effects and like noticing stuff throughout this showcase of this gameplay. I didn't notice the first time, and I've watched it a couple of times now. There's so much to take in. The size and scope of this game is crazy. I just thought it was going to be centered around Hogwarts and the castle and maybe a little bit of the school grounds. but it's so much more than that.
Oh yeah, loads more than that.
On a level I just wasn't expecting. And I can't really say I'm a huge Harry Potter fan. I've seen the movies; they're great movies. And this really like makes me want to watch all those movies again. It really makes me want to get into this world and like immerse myself into it. And this game is likely going to do that.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see how they do the whole character creation stuff and how it determines what house you're going to be put in. Like whether that's going to be some sort of like in-game survey sort of thing where the hat asks you questions and you answer them, and then it then determines which house you go in, whether it be Slytherin, Gryffindor, and the other two, which my mind's blanking on right now.
Slytherin, Gryffindor, Ravenclaw, and Hufflepuff.
Hufflepuff.
Please welcome the new
What are you going to be? What do you want it to
I have
be?
no
What do you
idea.
want it to be? Do you want to be a Slytherin? Or do you want to be...
No, because Slytherin's more evil, isn't it? And I can't side with evil.
Oh, can you?
I'll be Gryffindor, innit? I'll be Gryffindor. I feel guilty killing someone in Red Dead Redemption. Yeah, it'll probably be Gryffindor.
Yeah. It'd be Ravenclaw for me. Have to stick with the Ravens in anything.
There's just so much to take in with this game. I didn't expect to see so much, to be honest. Like, still got quite a while till the game comes out. Holiday 2022.
I mean, it is quite a while, but it's also not far, considering how much they've managed to put into this game.
Yeah, I was just more, I think I was more expecting to be a sort of like trickle-fed things throughout the lead up to it, but they give us quite a chunky amount of content here.
Yeah, a really chunky amount. It was like I say, it was the level of detail that took me by surprise. Specifically when
And
you go
there's
through certain
fact-
rooms and things like that. Like, it's just insane.
Yeah, and the fact like it's going to have a proper day and night cycle as well as dynamic weather and all that.
Yeah.
The snow and the rain, like the lighting effects are amazing. It's on another level of detail I've not quite seen yet in some games.
You may recognize a
I
few
know.
faces.
And it's cross-gen.
I'm going to be a bit hesitant to see what this game looks like on the Switch, unless it's going to be like Dream.
I've seen
'Cause it's
some
coming to
funny, I've
Switch,
seen
so
some
that's,
funny troll posts, mind, where they're posting pictures of the PS1 version of Harry Potter.
That's probably what they're going to get. They're going to give him that instead.
I think they get the cloud version, personally. I think they'll just get the cloud version of the game, they won't get the actual...
Yeah, it was like that with was it Resident Evil 8?
Yeah.
They had the cloud version of that.
Yeah.
Abound in the area surrounding Hogwarts. The magical
It's just
abilities
so
you
much to
master
take in.
through
I've got the
your
gameplay
sword
running
will soon become
here,
tested
my own
as you
screen.
unravel a
I'm just like
dangerous mystery
siphoning
by
through it
working
just to
alongside
see.
the accomplished
Yeah.
and
Like
yet
the
enigmatic
whole
Professor Fig to try and
place you can
discover if the
customize. I can't remember what it's
rumors
called
of a
now.
mounted Goblin rebellion hold any weight, and
I've
if
forgotten the
safety
room,
of
but it'll come up in a bit
Hogwarts
anyway, and
lies in
it'll
the
remind us.
balance.
But yeah, forgotten that.
I can't remember it.
BMG quickly there for the £2.49 super sticker. First bump to you too, brother. Thank you.
Loyalists are capable of so much more than people realise.
The wizarding world of this era
BMG,
is fraught with dangers.
does have a question for us, though.
Corrupted by a magical
With all the
force,
JK Rowling
powerful
controversy,
goblins,
will you be picking up the game?
and sinister witches and wizards.
Go on,
all
Jen, I'll
willing
let
to
you answer
fight,
first.
Even kill to
Yeah, I'll
achieve their
pick
own
up the
goals.
game. You can't really.
There's an uneasy
This
alliance
isn't even made
between
by her. This is made by developers that love the world of Harry Potter. She's got no ties to this game. So, yeah, I'm going to pick it up to support the devs.
I'm exactly the same. She doesn't have ties to it anymore. She's essentially kind of got rid of that. Yes, her stuff was the material.
Perhaps you shouldn't
I
involve
tried
yourself
to
with that
dissuade any
just
kind of
yet.
political thing away from it. Sometimes you can't. When it has to do with the likes of Ukraine, etc. Profits, yeah, as long as she might get a little bit, but it's nowhere near what people would assume. It's mainly because they're using
Royalties. That's all she's got.
and it's not going to be the same kind of royalties you'll see from the likes of the films, which she still profits from to this day. and people still love and people still watch, and they're on the telly all the time.
Enemies
So
possess unique defensive and offensive abilities.
yeah, she's had some
including blasting
controversial.
curses, stunning spells,
She
enchanted
does own the
weaponry,
rights to
and
the
more.
naming characters, but
While
this
some may attack others might
game has
enchant
no
and
characters
incapacitate you. Mastery of the shield
from the
charm
original
allows you
series.
to
This is a brand new
deflect ranged
game with
spells
new
and
characters.
direct
You
weapon
create your own.
strikes.
Everything is built from the ground up for this game. It's built hundreds of years
Counterattack
before
with
Harry Potter
powerful
existed,
stunning
so
charms, allowing
other
you to
than
follow up with
Hogwarts,
extended spell
which
combinations.
you'll get something for in some of the places, etc. Characters-wise, she's not going to get anywhere near the same amount as she does for her books and
Students who
movies.
become
If anything, she's
particularly
going to get a
adept at
marginal amount.
spellcasting will find many ways to exploit their enemy's weakness.
Yeah, I think people boycotting this game isn't
I
shouldn't
think
be
it's,
done
the thing is
because
it's fans of the series who boycott it. I can't understand how you would still be if you feel that strongly about something, you'll no longer be a fan.
yeah,
with
right.
Descendo.
But boycotting the game only damaged the developers of the game, not
Yeah.
not J.K. Rowling herself. So I can't agree with that. It's a game I'm likely going to pick up day one because of how good it looks.
Part of the problem we've got is the people that she's having a go at,
Mixing and matching dozens of spells
or
will
not
let
even
you
having a go
define
at,
your
it's just
combat style.
voicing her own opinion at. And it's an extremely controversial opinion, of
Your
course,
path to
because
become the
people
ultimate
can take it in
duelist.
certain ways. There's, of course, the LBGTQ community, mainly transgender community. But even then, the problem you've got with the transgender community is they're very much 50-50 in their own
Aren't you big
community.
enough to blast each other to pieces on your own time?
They're very toxic towards each other.
In addition to classes
So
and
if you
spells,
think it's
you'll
just
have
J.K.
access to a
Rowling getting an
deep
ear
set of
bashing for
upgrades,
this,
talents,
you'd
and
be
skills
sadly
to aid
mistaken.
your progression
Unfortunately,
as a
the
wizard.
community itself is
Complete
extremely
challenges
toxic,
throughout the world to earn
which can
experience.
dissuade a lot of
Level up your
actual
abilities by
transgender people
choosing
from
talents
speaking
to
up properly
upgrade your
about some of their
spells,
feelings,
plants, and
because
potions
they
to increase
feel
their
like it's
power.
more of a
Decide
cult
which
than
talents
anything
best
else
fit your
from some
playstyle
people
to
within the
allow you to
transgender
focus
and
on your favorite types
LGBTQ
of
community.
magic. You can
We've
also
seen it
loot,
several times.
buy,
They're
or craft your
extremely
own
toxic
magical
towards
gear.
each other, and that doesn't help
This will
anybody, but
increase your
feminists are
offensive
exactly the
and
same with each other
defensive
as are
capabilities in combat.
sexists.
Gear can be upgraded
Toxicity in everything and
Toxicity in
every group
greater
of people.
abilities for your chosen playstyle.
But you just got to you've just got to learn to disconnect from the two. At the end of the day, the developers have worked really hard to create an amazing game, and as you might disagree.
That's all
with
I'm
something
supporting.
she
I'm
says.
supporting the developers, not
Spells
not
are
her.
not the only tools
Yeah.
at your
Look at the effort
disposal
they've put in,
combat.
for how much
As you
detail they've
hone
put
your
in
wand
this
skills,
world they've
you can
created.
continue to further your magical education
And if
abilities,
anyone,
progressing
well,
your
a
development
large
as
amount of
witch
people were
or
to
wizard.
boycott it, that just
Brew
damages
potions
those
that can
devs,
increase your power
hurts
when you
that
need
dev
a
team.
boost.
Yeah. Yeah, but it doesn't damage her in any way, shape, or form if the game doesn't get picked up. Like, she doesn't care.
She's still going to get her royalties from every other thing
Keep your enemies at
in
bay.
that Hogwarts and Harry Potter world anyway. So
Yeah.
You can even unleash
Yeah.
deadly
And
mandrake
you've got to
seedlings
be
to
damn sure she's
incapacitate
getting massive
unsuspecting
royalties from
enemies.
Universal in Florida and
Beast
in London
class, you will learn
and
about a
everywhere else.
variety
She's
of
got another
magical
place,
beasts you might
the theme
encounter,
park.
both at school
So,
and as you explore
no,
the
this
world surrounding the
doing
castle
anything about
and
this
its
game and
grounds.
not picking this game up is not going to damage her. It's going to damage the developers. So, yeah.
it's going to affect their wallets and their families that they need to feed,
Is highly recommended
look after.
so that you may travel around the world more quickly.
But yeah, I'll be picking it up 100%.
You're despicable.
The game itself, absolutely,
Some abilities may be taught to
literally
you by
blown
students
away
who
by it. To
become
be
your
honest,
friends.
when we first seen the
As
trailer,
you
I
develop
didn't expect
relationships
this
with
much
these
from it.
schoolmates,
I
they
thought
can
it's going to,
accompany
like,
you
Oh,
on
we've
journeys
spoke
as
about,
your
it's going to be
of
the
this.
castle. It's going to go in and out the castle
over
grounds. You'll
time,
play a bit of
you'll learn
Quidditch and
their
things like
stories.
that. You'll maybe do kind of things like little stories that you would in the first couple of sections. Thank you again,
Natsuo
BMG,
Onai
for
is a
another
brave
$2.49
adventurer
super
driven by the
sticker.
justice she seeks. Poppy
No,
Sweeting has
awesome
a kind
chat, and
heart
it was
loves
a
magical
great point
beasts,
to bring up
connecting
in
with them
all
more
fairness,
easily than with
BMG.
humans.
It definitely is something that needs spoken
Unafraid
about,
of
and
detention or breaking the rules,
there is no one person that's right.
is Sebastian Sallow, a
It is
charismatic
entirely your
veteran
choice if you choose to defend your,
with a troubling family
or should we say,
secret.
if someone chooses to defend their own
You'll meet these students and more
their
as
own
you explore
thoughts on the
common rooms,
subject
hallways
and
between
not
classes,
pick it
and
up
regular
in that
gathering
respect,
areas.
that's fine. You're well within your right to do so. For those who understand that, of course, there is a disconnect between JK's previous work
One of the most
and
remarkable
getting
secrets
marginal
of Hogwarts is
kind of
known as the
loyalties,
Room of
should we say,
Requirement.
from this one, and the developer and what they've put into this game. Those will be the
You're
ones that still
introduced to
pick it
this
up.
space that seems to sense what you need
yeah.
and then provides it for
So
you.
exactly the same, like Sean was saying, same conversation with Activision, Blizzard,
Since you need
Ubisoft,
to catch
Moon
up to your
Studios,
peers,
etc.
the room provides space
And
for
even
you to
Blair,
sow
Walt
and
Disney.
harvest
They're
plants,
all
brew
questionable.
potions,
Even
and
the other
upgrade
day,
your
Walt
gear.
Disney's owner, or at least CEO, came out and
Helpful
said
self-named Deke
and
helps you
apologised to
discover
the
variants
LBGTQ
that allow you to
community
nurture
for
your
things that
own
they've been
menagerie
doing.
of
So
magical beasts.
it's commonplace,
Deke
but
isn't sure.
it's
Only
hard to
one
avoid
way
these
to
days.
find
Really hard to
out.
avoid.
You can freely
You've got to
customize
try
this
and
space to
disconnect
reflect your
political
personality and magical
opinions away from
specialties.
things like that. BMG legend. $8.99 super sticker. I can't do that. I can't fly and float on screen. I'm just going to pretend. I'll just.
Not everything you need on your journey is available at Hogwarts.
Thank you,
You'll want
brother.
to visit the nearby visiting village of Hogsmeade, where
Yeah,
loads of
awesome.
shops and
It's,
vendors can
the
provide
game itself,
you with the supplies you require.
The attention to detail and the love they've put on.
From potion ingredients and recipes
I love the sticker.
to seeds for
It's a
magical
cool sticker.
plants to all sorts of gear.
The attention to detail they've put into this game is phenomenal.
But
I love the
Hogsmeade
fact
also
that they've
has its
actually got
dangerous
outfits
side.
you can change,
A
like
band of
literal
dark witches and
many different
wizards
outfits you can
emboldened
change
by the
into as
turmoil
well,
of
and
the
they're all,
times,
because they're set in a
wander the
certain
village
time
outskirts.
period, it's more like a steampunky feel to it as well.
You must
It's like
avoid them or
waistcoats
defeat
and like
them.
long cloaks and top hats
As
and
you explore,
wizard
you'll
hats
find
and
the
things
world
like that you can put
surrounding
on.
Hogwarts is alive
I'm going to
with
spend a
activity,
lot of time trying to buy
wonders, and areas of
or
unusual
afford
interest.
the
As
like
the school
newest
year
stuff
progresses,
and not look like I'm
dynamic
like
seasons and
floating around
climates
in
will
like
fill the sky with
my
lightning
Quidditch
or
outfit
sunshine,
outside.
or coat the ground with
Or
snow
school
or
uniform.
rain.
Crafting in this game as
Unique
well.
visiting
That's like a
hamlets pepper
whole
the
other thing
countryside,
Yes.
that you can
each
craft
with
items.
vendors and residents who have
Flying
Gear
around
and
the
stuff
place,
like
though, I
that.
didn't expect it to be like open world
And missions
broomstick
with which
flying,
they
where
could
you can
use
just
your
float around
assistance.
the map and stuff. Like that is
Be
phenomenal.
on the
And then I
lookout
seen
for
Gryffindor
enchanting magical
flying
puzzles that may
before,
very
and I
well
seen
have been
dragons in the
designed by
sky.
Merlin himself.
Like
I really
what?
hope
He
you
was a
fly a
student of
dragon.
Hogwarts.
Oh god, I hope so. That would be amazing.
Magical beasts roam the lands outside the
And the fact
castle
that you can
walls.
like
Some have
collect
been
like
corrupted
some of the
by
beasts of
mysterious
that
dark
that
magic,
world as
while
well.
others are at risk of
Have them in your
creatures
own
and their
sort of like.
traps. If you're feeling
I don't know what the
benevolent,
place
you
is
can
called.
rescue them and
Can't
restore
remember
them
what
to
it's
health
called.
in the room of
But like
requirement.
put your own sort of. I guess it's like a
If there are
garden that you can
dangers beyond
customize
your
and
understanding
like
Yes.
in the world,
add to your repertoire
dungeons and
of
vaults
beasts,
hold
loads of
perilous
different
threats and
creatures
also
that you can
untold
bring into that.
rewards.
And that looks like something that's going to be
careful
really
where
cool
you
just to
choose
collect.
explore,
So in a
as
way,
it
it's
may
got
lead you down the
Pokemon
dark
light elements to it where you can collect creatures.
Oh, too right.
Master spells.
I like how like the
Befriend new
spells things you
allies.
can
Journey
learn them
across a
all, you can
landscape
teach yourself
never
them,
seen
you can
before.
craft
Uncover ancient
potions,
secrets.
but then
Combat
also it's
mystical
mentioning
threats.
you can
Learn
get into the
long
dark
forgotten
side
mysteries. Become the
and
witch or
use
wizard
death
you want
spells
to
on
be.
people and
As
actually
you
kill
leave your
people off and
unique
not just
mark
like
on the
disarm
wizarding
them or
world.
freeze them or something.
Here, in Hogwarts
It's just
Legacy.
such like I did not expect this much detail in this game.
Yeah. Everything we've seen looks like this game is going to be a hell of a lot in depth.
Well, it is like 100% it is, and you know what the thing is as well though, and we're looking at it even from like not the biggest
That
fans
was
of
your
Harry
first
Potter. We're like
extended
we
look
like
at
Harry
Hogwarts
Potter,
Legacy.
we like the world, we like the books and stories and films and whatever.
Now let's hear from the real wizards and witches
But we're not
behind
like
the
mega
game.
fans. Like imagine looking at this game from a mega fan perspective, and if you have a look at the chat from like some of the mega fans on the bottom of the videos
Oh yeah,
and things,
it's like
they're
a
just
Harry
like,
Potter fan's wet dream, isn't it?
And
Yeah.
passion.
If you have a look at
They're gonna
like,
eat this up.
Love for this
their
brand that
comments
the
at the
team
bottom of the
has
video
is astonishing.
for this state of play were like, I can't believe
Our
like
team
they've
is
got
so
everything
excited
right for the
to
room
take
and
all of
everything
the
right
love
for
that they
this
put
room
into
and
this
everything
as
right for
fans
this room.
and give it
So
to fans.
This is the game
they're
they've
absolutely
dreamed
loving
of
it. It's the attention
for
to detail.
20
I
years.
got a few friends that are diehard Harry Potter fans that are really excited to live their Harry Potter fantasies.
Oh, too
The
right.
lore of the Wizarding
It's
World
creating
is
your own.
already
That's
so
the thing
rich,
is about this as
and
well. Is
all
the
we
fact
had
that you're
to
not
do
playing
was
as Harry
harness those
Potter
elements
or
and
Ron,
build a
Hermione,
game
or
out of it.
anything like that.
The movies
You're
and the
well
books,
before
they
they
all
even
touch me
existed,
in such
before
a
they
way
were even a
that makes me
glint in
wanna go
somebody's
to
eye.
experience
Like, you're
Hogwarts.
It's like
playing
set in the
So much more
1800s,
detail
Yeah.
into
something
this
like that.
Your 1800s or 1600s or something. It was like well before all of that stuff. So that you're crafting
We
your
really
own
want to make sure
story
that anything
with
we
your own
add or anything we
character,
play with, or anything that we
and you are
explore
essentially
really
you are
feels
your book.
authentic.
Bringing to
There
life
is no
just
story
the
that you're not
charm and
crafting
love,
yourself,
everything we
and
have
how
for the
things
books,
go down.
and then marrying that with
iconic experiences from the movies that fans will recognize.
I just got caught up in looking at the gameplay there.
I know that's actually doing it as well. It's just such attention to detail. That's what's so great about it.
Just the discovery of like seeing things
And the
portrayed
fidelity
for the
they've
first
got
time,
into
maybe
things
they've
as
read
well, like
something and had a picture in their head
like
the whole
all of the
time,
different,
and
like you
finally
mentioned
get
before,
to
the
touch
particle
it,
effects are
walk
phenomenal,
around
and
it.
you need
Yeah,
that
the
for
particle
a
effects
game
and
that's
some of the
based on
spells,
magic.
Elements that can come
amazing.
together to create this amazing AAA open world action RPG.
When it comes to the open world, it's
So
just,
what,
we just
I
I
knew
can't
it
wait to
wasn't
catch
gonna
some of
be
these
enough to
creatures.
stare out the windows
I
of
know,
Hogwarts and
I
wonder
know.
what it's
And I
like
wonder,
out
they
there.
said you can have a
But the final
companion, so it
question
makes
that
me
fans
wonder
ask
what
is,
kind
what's
of
beyond
companions
that?
can
What's
you get?
beyond the Forbidden Forest? What's going to be beyond Hogsmeade? What's beyond the Black
Like
Lake if I
lions
start
or
traveling south? And we
tigers?
just felt like we had to answer those questions.
When they pull out that little that thing out of that hat, whatever it is, the thing that screams from moving, I can't remember
wait
what
a
they're
minute,
called.
2 seconds. I'm gonna
The
just
first
scroll
time
back a
maybe
little bit
they've
there.
read something and
I
had a
did
picture in their
see
head the
what
whole
looked
time,
like
and
the
finally
overview of
get
the
to
map.
touch it, to walk around it.
You've got
See
all
if
of
I
these
can pause it
elements
in
that can
time.
come together to create this amazing AAA open world action RPG.
When it comes to the open world, it's just, we just knew it wasn't going to be enough to just stare out of the windows of Hogwarts and wonder what it's like out there. But the final question that fans ask is, what's beyond that? What's beyond the Forbidden Forest? What's going to be beyond Hogsmeade? What's beyond the Black Lake if I start traveling south? And we just felt like we had to answer those questions.
Oh,
On the Forbidden Forest, what's going to be beyond Hogsmeade? What's beyond the Black Lake if I start traveling south? And we just felt like we had to answer those questions.
I keep missing it.
What's beyond the Forbidden Forest? What's going to be beyond
Hogwarts
What's
Legacy
beyond
is
the Black
coming to
Lake if I start
PlayStation 4,
traveling
Xbox
south?
Series
And we
X,
just
and
felt like
Xbox
we had
Series
to answer
S,
those
Nintendo
questions.
Switch, Xbox One, PlayStation 5. Pretty much every platform, really.
There we
It's
go.
coming to.
That's part of it.
Screen.
Part of the map. Jesus wept.
That's not even showing the castle, is it?
Nope.
Yeah, how big is this game going to be?
That's a big ass game. And Hogwarts and the school and all that stuff's not even on that section of the map. Wow. Like you can see the numbers 65, 64, 54, 55, 56, 66. So this is just a section, like a little chunk of sections. The section, Jesus wept. Thank you again, BMG, for the 249 super sticker. Did they announce which consoles? Yeah, I think Jen just answered you there. Everything.
Yeah, just answered.
Everything.
It is pretty much coming to everything.
Yeah.
I guess apart from mobile.
No, 100%. 100%.
But it's coming to Switch, so I guess at some point you'll be able to play it through some sort of cloud gaming app.
Yeah, and I imagine at some point as well, it'll probably be on one of the streaming services, so you'll be able to get it through something like that eventually. But Jesus Christ, that is a big map.
It's that map.
I can't believe how big it is. But yeah, so when do you? Because they said holiday 2022. When do you?
Opportunities
What's your guesstimate then on the actual release date? When do you think it's coming out?
That are really exclusive to
I'll
who
say
you were in the world.
mid-November to
Hogwarts
end of
Legacy
November,
is an
just in
original
time
story
for
that takes
Christmas.
place in the late 1800s.
Oh, so you think it's going to go head on head with Starfield?
At the famed School of Witchcraft
Possibly.
and Wizardry.
Ooh.
As a fifth
And they'll
year.
both sell amazingly
Very
because
unusual.
look at
So already
the
there's a bit
IP
of an edge
and
and a bit
look
of
at how
history.
well
The original story
Bethesda's
that was
games
told in
sell.
the game is your story of what you
You know what the
did,
the great thing
in
is
the
that
Wizarding
we're
world that you
starting
haven't
to
seen
see
before.
now
Or make our own
that
magic with
we
our story we're trying
years
to
ago
tell.
we'd
Fans are
already
familiar
had.
with the
So
Wizarding
years
world
ago on
from,
PlayStation 1,
the
etc.
1900s and on, really. But now with this
We would
world,
get
we're able to sort of
games based
create
on
a space
books
that's their
or
own.
games based on movies. And back then we
Fans
used
of
to
the
think they were
series will
great.
know that ancient magic
But they were extremely
has been
limited
around
to
for
what
a
they could do.
long
So we've
time,
had
to
Harry
say the
Potter
least,
things
and
before, we've
that
had Star
Hogwarts
Wars things
itself
before.
is a stronghold of ancient magic.
We've had kind of other
And the
bits and
Avatar
bobs based
player
around movies, but
has the ability
we're now getting
to
into the
sense it
generation and
and
we're now
possibly
getting into
wield
the
it or control
technology
it.
aspect
process
of
of
development
development
where
started with
they can
rereading
realize
the books.
worlds to such a
And over
degree
development, we rewrote the
where they
books
actually make
many
you feel like
times.
you're into that world
Every
now.
time we start with a new feature,
But because back in those days, every movie had a game adaptation, and
Yes,
they weren't very good.
Every film that
Pretty much every film had a game adaptation. Even Land of the Dead.
What this universe is was a pretty big deal.
That had a game. I think it was called Road to Fiddler's Green.
Yeah,
that was bad. That was bad.
You know, as a Hufflepuff, you always wondered, like, what is my common room supposed to look like?
But yeah, we're coming to a point now where like
Fans will recognize
TV
the
series
names,
and
they'll
movies,
recognize
they're all
spells,
getting
they'll recognize
adapted
certain
into
locations.
I recognize
games,
that
and
doorway. I recognize
they're
that
looking
classroom.
But
like they're going to be
mostly,
some really
it's gonna
good
be an
games
entirely
because
new
people
wizarding world that no
have
one's
got the
ever
technology to make
experienced.
those worlds
When
near
people
enough to a T.
engage in
Oh,
the
yeah.
wizarding world, what's the one anchor?
Yeah, they do.
Like, what's the thing that everyone comes
and it's
back
a
to?
level, like I
What's the
say,
thing
it's a
that
level of
grounds it
detail
all
they're
and
starting to
grounds
put in
all
it. We've
these
seen
characters
it
and
more
grounds all
recently
these
with
figures?
again
And
having a look
for
over
us,
at
we
the
really
Star
felt
Wars
like
side
that
of things
answer
with
was
Jedi
Hogwarts
Fallen
itself.
Order,
That school,
and making
that
you
famous
feel
school
that
of
was
witchcraft
probably
and
one of the
wizardry is really what
best
binds it
games
all.
for making you feel
How to
like a
bring
Jedi.
Hogwarts to life.
And
That was
like you're
a
starting to
very
have
big
these
challenge,
force powers
because
and make you
as
feel like a
everybody knows,
badass.
Hogwarts is huge.
Now we need to know exactly
And we're
how this
excited to
passage
see
fits to
what
this
Jedi
passage for
Fallen Order
game,
2
'cause you're gonna have to
does,
walk it.
because of course,
And of course,
thankfully
again,
that's in
Sentient
development.
Castle, it's got
That's
That's another game that's supposed to be coming out this year if those leaks are correct.
Secrets
Yep.
and passageways and rooms in this
But then
castle.
So many games.
Because I didn't like when I first seen Hogwarts Legacy, I thought that's going to be cool. But I didn't expect it to be this good. And then
Yeah,
we
that was me as well. I thought, oh, it'd be worth picking up at some point. But
Having a
like seeing
world
this has made
that
me
is
want
a
to try and grab it day one if I
breathing,
can.
living world
Yeah,
is
same.
very hard to
And
do,
then we've got Avatar
because
as
it's
well.
all about the details. And as a
Frontiers of
concept team,
Pandora, I
we
think that's what it's
really
called, or something like that.
got into those details and studied
that looks
history,
absolutely
studied
phenomenal.
architecture.
And that one's going to be on the Snowdrop engine, which is the same
I
engine
hope
that
that when
they
fans
use
play
for
the game,
kind of
they
all
get it
their
as lost in
big
it as I do.
franchises.
I can just be reviewing a side mission, and all of a sudden I
But
find
that one looks
myself
insane.
wandering
And that's
Hogwarts
another
for
movie
like 45
adaptation.
minutes because it's so beautiful.
Another big
community
open
is
world
absolutely
again,
going to love
another
Hogwarts
exploration
Legacy.
world
It's
like
gonna be
this
so
one.
fun.
Get that letter to Hogwarts and go to Hogwarts.
Just
We're
like
so
we're-
excited for people to come to this.
We're living in an
to
age now where
have
like the
it, to actually
possibilities for
enter the
gaming are
Hogwarts that we built.
seemingly
This is your
endless.
Hogwarts Legacy.
Because the amount of movie IPs that are out there that can be turned into games now actually be good. It's really endless. It's limitless.
We
Insane.
truly hope you enjoyed the Hogwarts Legacy
So-
State of Play.
And it's the same like
Our team
games.
is
They're turning
so
games
grateful
into
for the
TV series,
excitement and for the passion
movie
that
IPs.
all of
Yeah.
you
Like
bring
we
to
saw,
this. It's truly
you linked
what
yesterday
unites
to an
us.
article.
On behalf of our
um,
team at WB Games Avalanche,
Plague's Tale.
we
It's
wanna
getting a
thank you
TV
for being here
series.
today,
Yes,
and we'll
rightfully
see you
so.
at Hogwarts.
Awesome game.
And my favorite game of all time, Hunt Showdown, is getting a TV series. Would you believe it?
See you next time.
Nice. Halo getting a TV series
Comes out next week.
next week. Yeah. Gotham Knights, as
Oh,
Sean says.
4 days
yeah.
time, actually.
You've got your Batman, your Suicide Squads, your Marvel characters, Wolverine, Spider-Man. You've got Guardians of the Galaxy. Like, everything's starting to look better. Like, years and years ago, we didn't have this kind of level of detail and love towards all this stuff.
Like very rarely back in the day would get a movie adaptation of a game that was really good.
Yeah.
Those were usually the Spider-Man games, apart from the Amazing Spider-Man games because they sucked. But the Tobey Maguire, Sam Raimi movie adaptations were pretty good games.
Yeah, I agree. Absolutely agree. Oh, so next topic. What else we got going on?
Epic Games is donating 2 weeks of Fortnite proceeds to Ukraine relief. As we know, Fortnite makes a hell of a lot of money, so that's going to be a hell of a lot of money
Yeah.
going to that Ukraine relief.
Yes, and they also announced afterwards, Xbox have said we'll match that, and any money we get from Fortnite's downloads, we'll also put towards it within those 2 weeks.
Crazy.
So both Xbox and Epic Games are giving their money from the 20th up until the 4th. So from today up until the 4th, anything you spend within Fortnite goes directly towards Ukraine's relief.
And it'll probably be a hell of a lot because I think
Oh,
the new
millions.
season it's just literally started. So there's going to be a lot of money going to that.
Yeah. Millions and millions. We know how they work. BMG, that you know what it is. I've got to agree with that. He said we need a Darth Vader game. We do need a dark side game, like a Sith game. I completely agree. We need, even if it
We need a
isn't Darth
parallel to
Vader, we
Fallen
do need a
Order.
dark side game where you play as a Sith Lord, or your own Sith Lord from your story perspective.
Or even if it's like from the perspective of the Inquisitors. Because you had the Inquisitors after you in Fallen Order.
Yeah.
So give us that. It's not like Star Wars fans ain't gonna play it.
Yeah,
Star Wars
exactly.
fans will eat anything Star Wars up.
Yeah. And
the Halo TV series, though, there was an article, well, a few articles that came out. We ain't getting it in the UK for at least a month.
At least.
As Sky.
Yeah.
At least a month, maybe even longer. So don't expect Halo to be on Sky TV or any streaming service in the UK anytime real soon.
No, I know. I mean, you could easily quite go to certain websites that I won't name, 1, 2, 3, and watch the series on the net.
Which a lot of people are going to do, unfortunately, and
If
that's
you take out some of the words in that, I'll give you the link.
Yeah, and there's a lot of other means. I'm not going to name drop it because I don't want to get anyone in trouble. But yeah, I'm not gonna condone that. But
yeah,
it is what it is.
Essentially, everyone in the UK is going to be waving the pirate flag for a month because we're not going to get it spoilt by. Unfortunately, nothing to do with the Yanks. It's just unfortunately we're not going to get it spoilt by people who can obviously watch it earlier and the UK can't, just due to the trade deal that they've got on there.
Yeah, and people are obviously going to tweet in excitement without thinking about
exactly.
the consequences of spoiling it because people do that.
And obviously people assume that everybody can see it at the same time, which unfortunately is not the case. The UK can't see it for a while. Also there, Jen, I'm sure you'll agree with this. Sean says he needs a Mandalorian game stat.
Yes, we do need a Mandalorian game stat. We have heard like the rumors about it. I think from Jeff Grubb was it? There was a Mandalorian game in the works. Maybe that's true.
Yeah.
Maybe it isn't. I would love to see that. I'm a huge fan of the Mandalorian series. I can't wait for the next season, and I would easily play a game. Like just make me a Mandalorian game where I create my own Mandalorian, choose my own type of Mandalorian armor, and I go bounty hunting.
Surely be quite
like
easy
that.
to have, like, you can upgrade the backpack and upgrade his jetpack and upgrade his weapons and things like that. Surely it'd be relatively easy to put that together. I mean, even if you're doing it in relatively the same vein as Fallen Order, it would work. Like,
You see, I would prefer it to be in the style of Red Dead Redemption.
what, like open world?
Yeah, open world.
So you're like a literal cowboy bounty hunter.
Yeah, that's really what Mandalorians are kind of like, aren't they? They're sort of like that Clint Eastwood like character where they're mysterious.
I know, but what would you do? Because obviously in Red Dead Redemption, he has like a clan, a group that they move along with, and of course people get killed throughout the story and move along and betray, etc. But the Mandalorian, famously, other than looking after the child in the series, outside of the child, they're famously just lone wanderers.
Yeah, I guess they could do it in a way where this Mandalorian, like in the game, isn't a lone wanderer and he's got his
part
own
of, like, a group of
crew.
other bounty hunters.
Yeah, he's like in a group of bounty hunters. Maybe he's trying to work his way up the ranks to being the head bounty hunter of that bounty hunter faction. Do something like that. That would be really good. Like you start out the game, you're being sent out doing grunt work, and eventually you get to the point where you can send out people to do bounties, or you can do them yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd love that.
Yeah, that would be awesome. That would be awesome.
See, I'm a huge Mandalorian fan. Got little
the child in the background there.
little Grogu over there in the background.
What else have we got on the news this week then? What else? We have...
we had the Starfield thing.
Yes.
5-minute little documentary type thing.
I tell you what, before
Showed
we
off
get
a lot of concepts.
Before we get into Starfield, we'll cover off one more tougher topic, and then we'll get into a more brighter topic, which be Starfield. But Moon Studios, the creators of Ori and Ori the Will of the Wisps, they have come under a lot of flack very recently for their toxic work culture. Through a number of their staff speaking up and out about it eventually. Essentially, whether that be, it's not even just sexism. There's a lot of it is to do with sexism against certain female staff. But there's essentially some ideology in the studio, at least from the head staff, from what we're hearing, the two key owners and the two key main bosses, that essentially the work of the staff doesn't really mean nothing. It's down to crunch. Even when staff are leaving out and love the work that they've done, they're kind of treated like it's not good enough. But they'll, in the same vein, the bosses will use their work to show other people, oh, look how great it is to develop here, and look at the amazing work that we do, etc., to get more people in. And then they crunch them really, really hard. They essentially degrade them. They'll put them down. They'll use slurs against them. They'll sexist remarks, belittle them. There's a number of staff and things that that have spoke out about this so far. And it's just sad to see that even more studios is happening too. Now, we've seen it, of course, the week before with Sony and people from Sony saying the same thing about sexism within Sony, and Sony have tried to take everything down as opposed to acknowledge those issues. So it's within the space of 2 weeks. We've had both Sony and Moon Studios staff come out and talk about the toxic work cultures there, primarily for females, but just in general as well. And it just needs to stop. Just iron it out. I don't know why it's so hard to have just a regular work culture. I've never been part of a place, not personally, that's had such cultures. And if it is there, then it's something that gets called out or has been called out. But it's certainly not to the degree that we're seeing in the game community. Now, it obviously happens within industries around the world, but I've never known it to such a degree within gaming that it has been this last few years.
Yeah, it's like, in a way, it's good that it's all coming out to light, because it's forcing a lot of studios to change, which they need to. But at the same time, it's unfortunate that it's happened.
And I feel like it's
disgusting behavior.
It's obviously there's a lot of old school, like toxic masculinity stuff coming on. Like, you can imagine things like a lot of, if you go back and just think of the stereotypical game developers from years ago, where they'd be sitting inside their room and not move out of their room for weeks on end because they're coding or something like that. It sounds like these kind of stereotypical
it's got a specific name.
Coders that just don't move. Like that.
It's got like a specific term that people call it. Is it called bro culture or something like that?
Yeah, essentially what it is. Yeah, bro culture, like lads. Like, always, like, thinking,
it's ridiculous.
Like, yeah, putting women down and things like that. And I don't know how that still exists. You know what I mean? It's very much an even world. It's specifically when it comes to intellectual stuff. Like, physical, it's a different story altogether, because physically, men have got a different structure genetically than women have. And that's a different story, a different argument to have. But in the intellectual terms, there's so many bright, intellectual and creative women and men in the community that are on equal footing, and if not some higher than men. There's some absolutely amazing female creators, and specifically when you're talking about art, some amazing female artists out there as well. Really great female coders, and I think a lot of the ones that are speaking out are actually the coders and not the artists. And that says a lot. That says a lot about the bro culture within coding still to this day.
It's ridiculous. It's something that needs to change. You think it would have by now. We're in 2022. We should be more accepting of individuals and their agendas. Why does it always have to come down to the argument about just because this guy's a guy, why has he got to give a woman employee shit?
Yeah.
Just pack it in. Grow up.
Well,
that's behaviour that we all had when we were in our teen years. It's ridiculous behaviour.
Yeah, it is. It is. It needs to get wiped out. It needs to get called out. And hats off to every one of these developers, coders, artists, whatever position you are within the company that's coming out and have the guts to come out and call it out. It would have took a while for you to do so. And I hope it encourages more that are feeling the same to come out and speak up on it, because the only way it's going to change within any studio is for people to speak up. And if you're not getting heard internally, then shout externally, because that'll get them listening. Unfortunately, it shouldn't have to come to that, but needs must. If it means you have to do so in order to get heard, then shout up, speak up, and get it done. Because it just doesn't have a place in it anymore. If you're a great creator, no matter what gender or sexuality or skin color or race or religion you are,
race or creed or whatever,
a great creator no matter what you are. That's it.
Stuff that we should have moved past years ago. This ridiculous behaviour.
Yeah.
In a way, I'm glad it's all coming to light, because it's going to force the industry to change, and it's going to teach other industries not to be like that way. So, in a way, it's positive, but at the same time, it's unfortunately negative.
Yep, exactly. So yeah, shout out to them. Hope my hope is that it resolves quickly. It shouldn't be overlooked just because of the quality of the games that have come out there. The developers obviously worked extremely hard to bring out those quality games, but there's obviously consequences for the quality of the game that have come out there, and we're seeing what those consequences have been there. So it's kind of a double-edged sword. Tremendous games, unbelievable music, but unfortunately, the culture there needs to change, and it needs to change quick. Same applies to Sony, who are doing their best to silence those that are speaking out. But just keep trying. You'll eventually overcome and get your voices heard. Yeah, so I'm glad we did cover that. It did need to be covered. A shout out to Outbreak Podcast as well for joining us today, and goodbye to BMG for today. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day, brother. Thank you again for all the super chats and the support. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day. To everybody else, we're going to be jumping into our positive, big positive piece here, Starfield, and the enthusiasm from that studio on what they're kind of talking about now.
It's really excited, mate. It's a lot to take in with the small 5-minute, 40-something seconds video that we got. There's a lot of concept art in there. There's some in-game screenshots as well of the robot.
Yeah.
The way they're talking about this game, sounds like it's going to be huge. The amount of like different worlds and parts of those worlds you're going to get to go and explore sounds amazing. It's like a whole bunch of factions as well. Some of the bad guys, and you can even be a part of those groups of the bad guys, or you could sort of, I guess, be a double agent within that group and report back to the space cops, space popo, as I said in Guardians of the Galaxy Parcel play.
Yeah.
It just sounds like such an interesting concept. I can't wait to actually see full gameplay. Hopefully soon, because there is that rumor that the event might be in May. We might get a hefty sum of gameplay there. One of the factions on one of the planets is like Western themed, so that's going to be my choice, because I absolutely love Westerns. And
it is, you know, there's loads of factions, there's loads of people to kind of speak about, there's loads of things to do, there's loads of areas to go to, but what they're also alluding to is going back to more of the hardcore gameplay. Choices and
personal choices. Yeah, choices and consequences. I think they've had it in some of their previous RPGs, but it changed along the way and it wasn't as heavily focused on. They even talk about going back to a system they had in place in Oblivion.
Yeah. Tight group of people for so long. Like we're all friends. It's like
so yeah, I'm hopefully going to expect some heavy choices in the game. Whether it's going to be like good or bad, like we've seen in other games, for instance, Mass Effect has the Renegade and what's the other one? Good. Got two choices. One's Renegade. Choices are more along the sort of bad guy sort of stance.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm hoping for that. Because personal choice in RPGs is really everything. Makes the game unique to you.
Yeah. And the one thing I've mentioned this before, the one thing I loved about Outer Worlds was how they reflected upon your choices throughout the game at the end of the game as well. So if you finished Outer Worlds, you'll know that it summarizes and stuff shown if you haven't played through Outer Worlds yet. Get it in your download list and play it because you'll love it. Outer Worlds.
I need to go back to it. I haven't completed it myself.
Oh, you need to.
Halfway through, I think.
Yeah, you need to. It's such a great game, and like I say, at the end of Outer Worlds Outer Worlds as well, is it gives you this summarize. It says, right, okay, because you chose this is what happened, and this is like your consequences and what you decided throughout the game, and who you sided with, and who you decided to take arms with, and destroying this or not destroying this, etc. Because of all those things, it then gives you a summarize. It's like, right, because of your choices throughout the game, this is what's happened to the universe. Like, this is what's happened in this little section of the universe that you're in. That's what you did. That's your problem. Whether it be good or bad, the consequences, it tells you what's happened. And that's what I want to see this coming back to, like Fallout coming back to. Your, like, everything that you choose, every action that you do has a consequence, whether that be good or bad. It might not be something that you notice immediately, but it could be something that you notice way down the line. Like, you could kill someone and think absolutely nothing of it. But then, like, you go to some random town in the middle of nowhere, and they're just like, you're the person who murdered such and who did this, and then start praising you. So thank you for taking him down, blah, 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 blah. And you just didn't know. You thought he was just a random person. Or siding some with some colony politically, and then going to another planet, and they're at war with them, but you didn't know that. So immediately you're associated with them, and you're attacked upon getting there. It's so much stuff that they could implement into it. What would you like to see on that front?
So much. Yeah, the choices of your actions coming back around to bite you on the arse is something I like to see.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to see that actually unfold. Whether it be I kill a random person, to me that person's random. I didn't expect it to be an important character, and that come back around. It could be an hour later, it could be 10 hours down the line, or near the end of the game.
Yeah.
Those consequences of those actions coming back to haunt me. That's the stuff that I really look forward to seeing this game.
100%. Now I've been looking at as well over the last couple of days. I've been looking at some of the character styles and the character art and things that they've got for some of these factions, and some of them look absolutely badass. Like, some of them look really, really cool. Like, some of them do, like, legitimately look like military, like, bounty hunters. Like, they're just standing there with, like this awesome futuristic, like, armor spacesuit type thing on with, like, weapon slung over the back. And I'm like...
That's probably the sort of the direction I'm going to take my character in, if I can side with those sort of, like, that Western theme sort of planet and faction. I'm going to try and do that because I want to sort of try and live my fantasy of being a Mandalorian in that game if I can, if there's no Mandalorian game coming. So...
Yeah, I'm
do it in that.
Exactly. I'm really hoping that this planet and this universe that they're creating is, and it's obviously got space exploration in it. So I'm kind of hoping that it does allow you to, and hopefully it's not just one planet. It doesn't look like it because they're advertising different ships and different things like that. And apparently you can customize your ship as much as you can customize your character. So that's awesome to see. And if that's the case, then how big are these planets going to be that we travel to? Is it just going to be a certain section of the planet? Is it going to be a large section of the planet? What is it going to be? The level of detail that they're putting into some of this stuff is just phenomenal. You can see when Todd Howard's previously introduced a new game, he's come on stage, he's had a little blurb about it, and then that's him done talking. You can see his excitement in a project that he's wanted to make happen for 2 decades. when he's making this series, almost a monthly series now, talking about new things within the game and how they want to progress the game and factions and planets and universe and all these things. Now, this is like episode 4 or 5 or something, this one. But you can just see his enthusiasm and his excitement himself for creating this title.
Even one of the other guys is talking about like the chances of like a random combat sequence just happening. Go into a part of the world you're on, be a bar or something, and then all of a sudden a fight could start and you're involved in that fight. So that's the sort of stuff I love. The ideas of this game. Everything they've talked about is something I can't wait to actually see.
Yeah, I'm exactly the same. Exactly the same. It's absolutely phenomenal. To me, it's you can see when a group of people are really excited about when a group of people are really excited about it, that to me kind of says a lot. When they're like, oh no, we want to like talk about it all the time. We want to tell people a lot about it. And for those of you concerned that you haven't seen gameplay, this is standard Bethesda practice. They don't show gameplay off. Oh, freaking adverts. They don't show gameplay off until about 6 months prior, if not a little bit closer to launch. And that's always been the case for Bethesda games. Like, they don't do gameplay reactions or gameplay trailers years in advance. They wait when the game's ready to show, which is usually 6 months to 3 months before release. They'll show gameplay, and they'll show you full gameplay. They'll not just do a little bit of a snippet, they'll show you a proper gameplay chunk of it. That's just how Bethesda works. So I've got look at these characters. Look at them.
Like the excitement from everyone talking in that video as well. Probably a lot of that comes down to the fact that they're working on a fresh new IP that they've been wanting to do for a while.
It's 2 decades. They've been wanting to do it. They've been wanting to do it for 2 decades, and they've only been able to start realizing this like pretty much a decade ago. And they'll be like, right, okay, we can start working on this project.
Like, the excitement obviously comes from the fact that they're not working on a Fallout game at the moment. They obviously are, but that's not their big plans at the moment. They've
said themselves as well. They've said themselves, we're doing this, and like Starfield is the game we're all working on. After this, then we'll begin working on Elder Scrolls 6. Like, Elder Scrolls 6 is a thing. The ideas are there. The project is going to start, but there is no development of Elder Scrolls 6 in conjunction with Starfield. The entire team is working on Starfield, and then once that's out, we're working on Elder Scrolls 6.
Yeah, and then like when they come back to doing the next Elder Scrolls, they'll have a new level of excitement because this will be a learning experience for them as well. Do new things.
You know what? There'll also be a great thing about this game as well. This isn't a games as a service game. This isn't an online. I mean, hopefully there's online portions of this game because I want to be able to traverse this place with a co-op, or even just have co-op in the game. Cool. Traverse the world co-op and go through some of the stories with a friend or something like that.
Even if they do it where they like replace your companion with your co-op partner, and they bring their character into
drop in, drop out co-op. Yeah, 100%. Drop in, drop out co-op. So your companion character essentially just puts to the wayside, and you're just playing with a friend. I think that would be absolutely awesome. And they have no detrimental effect. They don't have a detrimental effect on your universe, and vice versa. It doesn't affect their game if you join them. Like, your story doesn't change, their story doesn't change. Essentially, companion co-op, someone who's joining you just to play through the game.
Another thing that interests me about this game is, and I know we've had like player choices as well. So, like for instance, Skyrim might be slightly different for me than it is to you when you're playing it.
Yeah.
But how vastly different that be? Like if I'm watching you stream it one day and then I'm playing it and I'm like, oh, both our games don't even look like they're in the same sort of places right now.
Yeah, exactly. Not even anywhere
character-wise and story-wise, yeah.
Not even anywhere similar. And that's the thing. It's another thing, and I think why people, all the different people that are streaming Elden Ring, is it's exactly the same. Like, everybody's stream is different because you don't have to do things in the same order. Elden Ring's essentially just open. Like, yes, people will come across the same bosses eventually, but how they get there and what they do in the meantime, no one's game is the same. And that's the kind of game that you want to be in.
Yeah, that's what I can't wait to see with this. What's
67% of people chose this, or 30%, or only 10% of people chose your option. And you're like, oh shit.
That was one of my favorite things about the Telltale Walking Dead game.
Yeah.
Choices in that, and then like the end of each episode, it would tell you the choices you made, how others chose, and all that, and the percentages between. Something I really liked about those games.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I'm just looking forward to seeing more of this game and getting into the universe. You know, it's essentially, to me, if you have a look at where No Man's Sky's come to now, that game is absolutely it's massive. It's phenomenal what they've put into No Man's Sky now, and loads of free updates, loads of free expansions. That game is it's completely different to what it used to be. And I'd love to see more of that, to be honest. I'd love to see more where these wide open worlds, exploration worlds, you can go different places and do different things. I'd love to, and they've obviously implemented co-op into No Man's Sky now as well. To be honest, I need to go back into it and play it a bit, to be honest, and see what it's all about now.
I've not played it since it first came out on PlayStation 4.
Same. But it's free. I do believe it's free now anyway. You can download it, you can play it.
I think it's in Game Pass, isn't it?
I think it's in Game Pass if you haven't played it, yeah. I think I bought it originally on Xbox, but I definitely got it. I'm sure I've got it on PlayStation as well. But yeah, I'd like to see more of it. But the one thing I'm looking forward to is essentially what they did in terms of universe scale, because it's an infinite universe to a point, of course, in No Man's Sky. What I'm looking forward to is Starfield's more realistic version of that, with like the photogrammetry used kind of assets and these hyper realistic detailed universes and scenery and rock faces and all this stuff, as opposed to this like ultra vibrant No Man's Sky world that you go to, where it's like so many different vibrant colors and textures and things, and like more of a Guardians of the Galaxy-esque universe, as opposed to more of a realistic grounded universe where like Mars is just like red rock everywhere and the moon is like grayish, and things like that. Like,
it will be interesting to see how different each world looks.
Definitely.
Like, is that one world that's different? That one world they've shown in concept art that's built in like above the ocean or something?
Yes.
And it's just like a light show. It looks like, I guess, a bit like the New York City of. It
just reminds me of Jabba the Hutt's place. Not Jabba the Hutt, Jar Jar Binks is where his people live.
Yeah, like the Gungans.
Yeah, that's where it is. That's Gungan.
Yeah, it looks really interesting. I just can't wait to explore these worlds. Like, and you're going to get lost in these worlds. And then you're going to go, oh shit, I just remembered I can travel to another world. And I've been stuck on this one for like 5 days.
Yep, 100%. Oh dear me, but yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing more of it. It's going to be phenomenal. Put it that way.
I can't wait to see all the different like pieces of armor and all that are in that game. There's got to have to be a hell of a lot, the amount of worlds that are in it.
Yeah.
And factions and all that.
What else have we got? What other news have we got this week? It's been pretty light again, isn't it?
Yeah, it's been a pretty quiet week.
Pretty quiet week. Right. Well, it's been... How long have we been on for now? I don't even know. I'm losing track. What are we going on for? An hour and 10 minutes. So we're doing quite well, actually, considering we've touched on 2 topics. Technically. 3 little ones.
Have a quick Google search and see if there's any other stories that we've missed.
We need to cover cover out for the rest of today. I don't believe there is much. If not, I think we can pretty much wrap it up and let these fine ladies and gentlemen get back to their gaming, and we can also get
I
back
think
to
that's
gaming.
pretty much it.
Awesome stuff.
Can't see anything here that we've missed that was important. I'm
Yes.
counting Fortnite apparently having a mode that they're not going to have building in.
Yes, we will win every match.
I just hate the building. I get into combat in that
permanent
game.
mode where there's no building. Then I'd play it more.
I think that's what they're doing. I can't remember who it was that tweeted it. I think it was it Special Nick.
Yeah. No, it's a temporary thing. It's basically part of their universe.
Come on.
It's basically part of their universe story. So if you read the caption on it, it's essentially saying this evil person is essentially disabled or eradicated building within the universe. To get it back,
They're
you
not
have
doing
to
it permanently.
to get it back, you have to win. Blah blah blah. So it's part of the story. That they release at every thing. So it's obviously part of the season. But it's going to be, by the looks of things, it's going to be going on for a little bit anyway, where they're just going to have no building in the game for a bit as part of the story.
Oh, that's good. Might jump on it just for this season then, just to destroy people.
just
and
to play without, just
and then
torture
uninstall
people
it again.
that can't build. Because they're all terrible when they've got nothing to jump from. They're really bad on one-on-one situations.
It's so annoying because as soon as you shoot them, the exact second a bullet makes contact with them, they've built an entire hotel fucking building, and it's so annoying. And I'm sitting there like, I can't do that shit. I've got those movements in me. My brain don't work like that.
Yeah. No, it's what they need to do really is, like I say, it's for us it's perfect, but for the people who build, they're going to get tortured because they rely on their builds to keep them going. And without it, they're terrible at one-on-ones.
How quick it'll be when they all stop streaming it because they can't build.
Yeah,
they're losing.
They're terrible at one-on-ones, 100%. Like every time you get into a one-on-one with them, when they've got no builds around them, they're terrible.
It's those that don't build's time to shine.
Yep.
You've had how many seasons of building? Let us have this one, please.
Yep. And to be fair, when I went into it, I think I had, specifically when I started playing Fortnite for a bit, I think I had the best part of maybe 10 wins in like 15 games or something. Like it was just steamrolling people because I think it was just obviously the fact that I came off the back of playing the likes of Halo and PUBG and things where it's a lot more tactical. You've got to think about what you're doing. You've got to be much quicker on your reactions. Then you get to Fortnite and everyone's terrible at first-person shooting or third-person shooting. Like really bad. They can't aim.
I can't even remember the last time I played. It's got to have been over a year ago.
Yeah. It was me.
And that was only because they kept bringing Marvel heroes into it.
You played with me, didn't you?
Stupid.
You played with me?
I don't think so. I can't remember.
You did.
No, I don't think we did.
Have you not played Fortnite with me?
No, I don't think I have, no. I don't remember that.
Was it just Stu that I've played with then?
I think it was just you, Stu and Pat,
wasn't
right?
it?
Yeah.
Ah, you need to play.
I might install it.
Get it installed. We'll go and torture some kids. Get it installed.
Yeah, I'll get that installed. I'll get it installed on PC though, because there's no way I'm playing that on console. It is crossplay, so I'll just jump in on PC with yours.
That's fine. I'm on Series S anyway, so that's fine. I'll just jump in on that. Yeah, we'll just go.
Because that's the only place I played it is on PC, and I couldn't imagine playing that game on game controller.
Yeah, it's mad. Well, we had that like last time we jumped in. I think with Stu and Pat, it was like still had the Christmas stuff up in the game, and there was loads of Oh yeah, and Bailey making rent's gonna be is up for playing some fork knife.
Yeah, I'll get that installed as soon as I'm done.
Nice. Yes, we'll all jump in on fork knife. We'll play some fork knife. We'll torture some kids. Bailey making rent, get it booted up. Let's go. But other than that, awesome show. Thank you to everybody who tuned in again today. Of course, for those who are tuning in after the fact, We hope you enjoyed the show as well. I hope you enjoyed this new, much smoother presentation that we've got now. It seemed to have run a lot smoother, and of course you can watch it back in glorious 2K60. I might try and push the boat out at some time this week and stream something in 4K, see if it works all right. I have now switched over from Streamlabs to regular OBS Studio, and let me tell you, the actual smoothness of it is phenomenal. I can see you. I can see you, Jen, and I swear to God, everybody in chat that has some form of ability to time him out. Right? There you go.
I'm just
gonna
not
do it
acknowledging
myself.
him.
There we go.
Is that a big kid? Is that a big kid?
Yeah. I'm just going to keep
Just got to ignore him
until he's done. There we go. Time out. Dear God. Yes. So, but yeah, OBS is just phenomenal in comparison. There's CPU usage is only 6%, whereas on Streamlabs it was 25%.
It's not as
it's a hell of a
Streamlabs
difference.
OBS isn't as well optimized as OBS.
Yeah.
But I made the switch.
Yeah, so I'm straight over the to OBS now. Everything's brought over smoothly, so I'm happy about that. All of the podcast stuff's in one big scene, so it's really easy to navigate on there for both the regular podcast and the weekend edition. So be much smoother going forward. Thank God, one less thing to worry about. But also, in terms of just the overall stream quality. So I'm going to try and test out 4K, see if I can push me luck with that a bit, because obviously we've got 2K, and I'm watching the stream myself now, and 2K is running perfectly fine, and it has done for the entire stream. If I can output 4K, I'll be happy, very happy in fact, specifically for going forward for game streams. Other than that, Jen?
I have no idea how to get it to 2K or whatever it is.
Oh, it's easy.
Not looked into that yet.
I can absolutely. It's easy to tell you. Do you know you can choose your canvas resolution and your output resolution?
I'll have to go back in there and have a look.
When you're on your settings and you go into the stream and you go into canvas resolution, leave that as your base resolution, so 1920 by 1080. Just leave that, and then or if you're wanting to have the base resolution or base canvas resolution much higher, then you can change that resolution. The next one, of course, is output resolution. So then it outputs the stream so essentially upscales it for you. So then, of course, this one's outputting at 1440p as opposed to 1080. So it's doubling the resolution output.
I'll get that sorted and hopefully be able to stream in 2K my next Parcel Play Live.
Definitely, yes. Yes, but other than that, Jen, I'll let people know, of course, where they can find you and what you've got coming up this week.
Find me on my YouTube channel, The General C. I've got my Battletoads episode that may or may not be out tomorrow, or Tuesday will be the latest it will come out. And then on Friday, I'm streaming Lego Batman for Parcel Play Live. I'm then also working on the Tunic Parcel Play throughout the week after this week coming.
Nice.
That's pretty much it, really. Also find me on Twitter, _general_C. Yeah, that's me.
Nice. Before I do my outro, Barely Making Rent, thankfully, OBS Studio has nice, very easy import for all of your scenes and things directly from Streamlabs to OBS. So when you've opened up OBS Studio, just go into scene selection at the top, and then you can click on import, which is one of the options, and then it auto-populates all of your scenes and things from Streamlabs and brings it straight over to Streamlabs, straight over to OBS Studio. So thank God. So I've still got Streamlabs installed. I won't be opening it anymore. I'll just be working with this. Thankfully, it doesn't take up any space really on the hard drive. So nice and easy. But other than that, you can find me, of course, over on this channel, WandrinDutch on YouTube. You can find me at Twitter at WandrinDutch. A slightly abbreviated version of that on Xbox at WandrinDutch. And Of course, I think things are detailed down below. Some WandrinDutch, no spaces, capital D, capital W. I do have Switch, but I don't really have much installed in it. Mostly just Nintendo's basic stuff. My Switch code, I do have no idea. But if you want it, drop me a DM and I'll send you the Switch code. You can add me. Or if you're following me on Twitter, you should be able to find me via the Twitter search friend request thing on Nintendo. And add me that way. PS4, my last name, GoesseN, GoesseN. Search for it, I'll be on there. Other than that, I'm going to get some food down my throat and get some gaming in. And then, yeah, that's my night. That is my night. Anybody who wants to jump onto a bit of fork knife in a little bit, feel free. Jump in.
Destroying people on that game.
Yeah.
Fun. I'm sure I watch people struggle when it comes to not being able to build.
Yes, definitely. Get everybody jump on. Send us an invite on Xbox when you're all ready to rock and roll. We'll play some fork knife and we'll torture some kids. But other than that,
I've selected install on it now, so I'm installing.
I hope everybody has an awesome night. For those of you who want to play, drop me a message on Xbox after the show, and we'll get a party going and we'll have some fun. Until that, though, we will see you all again on Wednesday for the next episode of Midweek Mix-Up Podcast. And from me and Jen, we will, of course, see you all again next week for another episode. Episode 10 of the weekend edition already.
It's gone fast.
Jesus Christ, that's went quick. 10 weeks of weekend. Actually, 11 weeks technically, because we had a week off. 11 weeks, but 10 episodes. Jesus. But awesome stuff. Everyone have an awesome day, and we will see you all again next time. Goodbye, guys.
See you later, everyone.